Disco X on the line, just as I suspected. No one really gets over me. I'm unaffected. Why would you try to ever put me second? You're just another groupie to me. No, I'm out here single, and I need some real. Now I got standards, give a fuck how you feel. I'm out here single, tell me what's the deal. Now I got standards, give a fuck how you feel.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Betting News Network. Excited to have you guys with us on this beautiful Thursday. It is August the 27th, and this is your afternoon Betspresso. We got not Bootsman today. We got Boostman, Mr. Adam Kaufman in the house. Got
I thought I was guilty of a typo, and that was just Beast behind the scenes screwing with the screen.
He does that. He's
Apparently
settling in nicely within the squad and, starting to play jokes, which we'd love to see. We got Luch. We got Mr. Justin Carlucci in the house.
What's going on?
Dude. It's fun. It's fun. What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. Another day at the office. One step closer to football. Always news, always drama. And boy, I don't want to rehash old wounds, but Boostman was in
I swear, I knew it. I knew you were going to do this.
It had because the chat was thinking of you. I mean, what a bad beat. I'm willing to call it maybe the worst beat I've seen in 2026 after all of the information came out about it with your Reds Giants game. I don't know what the exact number was. I'll have to find the tweet, but you were on the other end of like a 2,200-0 record when the team was winning in the ninth inning with 6 runs or more. So, hey, you're a part of history, though, Boots, man. So at least
I can't tell you how many times I have had historic losses to, parlays or something like that. Now, look, yesterday was a good day. Yesterday was a profitable day. A big part of that was because Rafael Devers did what he was supposed to do. And
that was awesome.
Yard on a roughly 10-1 homer with a boost, obviously, because I think before that he was plus 630. I had a nice wager on it. And so I was happy that Devers delivered. But within that same game, to your point, just system betting being what it is, I was on the Giants, and the Giants were up by 6 runs in that ninth inning and proceeded to allow 7 to Cincinnati on the other side, including a grand slam to a dude that had evidently got waived today, got DFA'd. How does Eugenio Suarez, right? It was Eugenio Suarez that hit the grand slam that got DFA'd. How does any team DFA a guy after he's part of a gigantic comeback the night before? And it's one thing to fire a manager off a win. He had a grand slam. He had a grand slam in the ninth inning. You come back, you win that game. You're like, we're good. So that was I don't even know, because obviously it's not like I was looking for it, what the money line number would have been on Cincinnati entering that ninth inning to come back and win. I'm sure Action or somebody tweeted it out, but holy God, to lose that one. Again, still a good night, but that was insanity.
Well, just one more quick note. It didn't take more than 3 more hours later for the Baltimore first 5 to have the same issue. We had a 6-run lead for the Baltimore Orioles first 5, and guess who puts a 6th spot up in the bottom of the 5th inning? The St. Louis Cardinals. We push.
But at least avoided. At least didn't lose.
Yeah.
And I was on the Orioles full game, so it wasn't devastating. But yes, part of the parlay. But the parlay was cooked anyway because I had put Red Sox money line in there, and the offense decided not to show up.
Then nothing worse than having something like that happen. If anything, Adam, maybe that's like your last swan song to remind you that football's around the corner and it might be time to hang up the cleats for baseball betting for the rest of the season.
No,
I know
system betting is
I know.
We're in.
I know you're in. I'm just saying, like, if you didn't have the system, I think he probably would have said, sayonara with something like that. Because I know how, with all the bad beats you and I have discussed, especially in football last year as well, it can start to wear in these situations as well. So
yeah, I wouldn't. Here's why, SPJ, and this is a real call the hotline kind of comment. But I'm not good at not betting.
I know. We've had this discussion before many times, but there are
various
levels.
I went to California with my family for a week and a half. California, for anyone that doesn't know, is not legalized, regulated sports book betting, and that's a very logical situation to be like, I'm going to take the next week and a half off of betting, or while I'm at the airport, I'm downloading Kalshi and preparing for a week and a half of trading. So it's really like, honestly, you got to scratch the itch, man.
Of course. Well, as long as you do it in a way that is responsible, then that's all that matters. But
with college football starting tonight, buddy, that we are nothing but responsible over at DGNU.
I love when he flips this hat. That's my favorite. It's my absolute favorite.
About it.
My name's SPJ. I didn't get to that part because we've been gabbing. Appreciate you guys being here. They know who I am. On the Betting News Network, excited because football's around the corner, boys. We got some preseason action we're going to talk about tonight. We do have some WNBA, a couple games this evening. Baseball plays. If Adam hopefully will give us the moves from the system, but also maybe hopefully giving us something that doesn't lose in the bottom of the ninth in extraordinary, crazy fashion.
Tell me about it. Don't be disrespectful to FCS. You have almost 24 college football games tonight.
I do. I just don't have any action, nor do I think either one of you guys. So I was yes, college football is back, and it is starting tonight. And I know that Luch is very excited because high school football also kicks off tomorrow, or already has kind of kicked off in most parts of the country. But I know in your streets, you're going to be calling some college or some high school football around the corner from you, which is fun. Football's here. Are you calling it or are you just covering it? I can't remember what you said.
I'm just covering it, but I have done a lot of color back in my day. So it's a good time. It's a really cool change of pace. Everybody's excited this time of the year. Vibes are high. It's good times.
I love it, boys. We're here. We got a lot of news to discuss today. We are going to also do our fantasy ranking series, continuing that. I'm excited to dive into that with you guys. It's kind of sad Dubs and L's is over now, so we can't keep rolling that. But we will have, starting on September 1st, a recap of all the Dubs and L's that we get on the timeline. We're going to do them conference or division by division. We'll show you guys if we were right and wrong, and then we can look back on that and definitely have some moments where we decided that something earlier in the season that was totally not true, or something that we nailed on the head. We'll find out, but we'll post that on the timeline. We will do fantasy football. I'm excited to pick y'all's brains. We'll be going into blind ranking the running back position. I'll give you guys the top 10 running backs from 2025 in the fantasy scoring streets, and then we're going to blind rank them going into this year. And then we'll obviously cook a parlay and have some fun with you guys as well. Let's talk news. We will have news as well, chat, in a little bit. If you're here for Chef, thanks for tuning in right here on the Betting News Network. Come and watch us on Twitch or on YouTube if you're watching us on X, because it's not as good of an experience on X. I mean, we like you guys watching us wherever, but YouTube and X, or YouTube and Twitch, free to watch us. Come and hang out. Subscribe to the channel. We go live every single day talking sports and hanging out. Alpha Dogs is excited for Luch, though, which we absolutely love.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a sharp guy right there.
Do they give you the Milan Lucic treatment?
No, not as much. Not as much. It reminds me of the Packers' Jason Kuhn treatment when he'd get like a 3-yard carry up the middle, though. Remember that?
Yeah, I'm not comfortable doing that.
That's fair.
It's okay.
Yeah.
He's got to do it in passing and run away from it real quick.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, as I said, we've got 4 preseason games tonight, gentlemen. As the last week of the preseason kicks off this evening. There they are, the matchups on your screen tonight. I didn't find anything that I liked in any of these games. Not a lot of props available for these like they have had for the first couple of weeks. We don't really know as much information about team players that we're going to see in these last games. All coaches view the last game of the preseason a little bit differently. I know Shags wrote about this game at bettingnews.com. You guys can go peep his scribbles and find out what he has to say. He talked about it earlier on the morning spread. Do you guys have any bets that you like in any 4 of these games? Any game that kind of piques your interest? Obviously, your Pats are playing tonight, Adam, so I'm sure you'll be at least kind of half watching the TV to see what they do against the Browns this evening. But anything stand out to you guys? You can go
Could
first.
not be less
Talk, man.
interested in investing in any of the 4 of these games.
I'm not going to lie to you. I feel the same way.
We got WNBA, we got Major League Baseball, we got 24 college football games, preseason football with all of the obscurity and randomness and personnel indecision and coaching philosophical indifference. No, I don't know. 4 preseason games. Just let's get on with the next few days and let's start to look to the regular season is generally how I feel about it from a betting standpoint.
Yeah, I agree. I agree in terms of betting. I mean, I think there are some things just to keep tabs on. Obviously, in Pittsburgh, we're likely going to see both really young quarterbacks do their thing. In Cleveland, first game for the Browns, post Deshaun Watson named starting quarterback announcement. Woohoo! Everyone's so excited. And then in the San Fran Vegas game, obviously somebody hasn't named a starting quarterback yet. We will see if Clint Kubiak ever decides to do that. And for the 49ers side of things, I'm interested to see if running back Kalen Black kind of had a leg up in the RB2 CMC handcuff discussion, kind of by default because Jordan James was also banged up. But, you know, we'll see how much action he gets, what he looks like. And just in the last game, just intertwining some notes here. Random trade, Tutu Atwell back on the Rams, coming back from Miami. Don't know if that's of any significance, just a depth thing. I don't want to spoil the rest of our news segment here that we'll talk about, but
the Dolphins clearly decided they have enough at wide receiver that they don't need Tutu Atwell.
You can look at the Dolphins side of loaded, man. Absolutely loaded. So chat, there you go. As I said, go read Shaggy's article at bettingnews.com for his place. He did talk about them earlier. I will tell you that he is on the Pittsburgh Buffalo under 34.5. He likes the Raiders to cover the spread against the Niners, and he does like the Rams to cover as well on the other side against the Chargers with the plus 3.5 there as well. Go read his analysis at bettingnews.com for free to see what he likes if you want to invest in these 4 games this evening. On the note you just mentioned, Luch, let's talk about this. We don't have a graphic for this, but we'll just kind of chat about it.
Thank you, Beast.
So, you said the Tutu Atwell thing, which did happen today. Tutu Atwell is returning for his, second stint in Los Angeles to play for the Rams. A very much so a depth wide receiver piece for this team, not a massive needle mover. But I said this yesterday. I wasn't here yesterday. The day before yesterday, when we were breaking down the quarterbacks when we were doing our fantasy series, and V asked the question about Matthew Stafford, and he was actually asking about Devontae Adams. And if you're investing, if you think about taking Devontae in some leagues, do you think he's going to score touchdowns at a high of a clip as he did last year? Because he was kind of touchdown dependent, right? And I said, I'm starting to get worried about Puka. He's been banged up. We haven't really seen him a lot in the Rams practice situation. I think he's been out. I can't remember the exact injury, if it's some sort of deal with his butt or his the top of his glute or something like that, or his lower back. But he hasn't been practicing consistently. And cherry on top, this suspension is looming over his head, which we'll get to the Josh Jacobs situation here in a minute. But I love Puka. Love betting on Puka. Love having him on teams in fantasy last year. He's one of the best wide receivers when available in all ways you want to talk about football, whether it's fantasy, whether it's betting, or whether it's just watching the sport. I'm starting to get worried that we're not going to have Puka out there for maybe 2 to 3 games suspension wise. And I'm also worried of the fact that he's banged up going into the season. Now, he has had this happen before in years past, and he's still produced at an incredibly high level. But I'm starting to get a little bit trepidatious on, as we get closer and closer to fantasy drafts happening before the start of the season, I'm starting to worry if I want to take him in the first round, because you can't pass him up because of that. But I'm starting to get a little concerned, man. What if he misses? What if they suspend him for 4 games?
So
still take him first round?
I understand if you have because this is something I wrote about over at USA Today recently about Christian McCaffrey. I understand if there is a trepidation about taking a guy at a certain point, at a certain draft position. But like you said, Puka Nacua is not making it out of the first round. Even if he slips a little bit, he's still not making it out of the first round. The question at that point becomes, what ADP do you see yourself getting value? I'm looking at a site right now. Puka Nacua is a consensus 4.6. He is at 4.8 on Yahoo. He is 5.2 on ESPN. He's 4.1 on Sleeper. Underdog is 4.2. You can look at a variety of places, obviously, but he is basically a consensus 4th overall behind Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, Jamar Chase in that order. Let's just say hypothetically, you're like, there could be a suspension. Do I really want to take him at 4? Couple people, depending on who you're drafting with, maybe it's our league, right? Let him slide a little bit. Fine. But if you're still somehow in a league seeing Puka available to you at 6, 7, 8, like you have no choice but to take him. You have to. You have to. Now, if you don't want to do it at 4 because you're worried about, again, injury, suspension, whatever, like I get it. But again, if you're a mid-round pick, you have to do it. You have to.
For the sense of this activity, and again, yes, that's correct. But just from taking it away a little bit from the fantasy perspective, more just the ball. Like if you, I'll stick with the fantasy aspect.
I mean, basically your question is like, if you have a top 5 pick and Puka falls to you, would you fade him? That's really the question.
Would you? All right. So would you take Jamar Chase over Puka Nacua if you had the chance right
absolutely.
now?
But everyone would.
Sure. Same for you, Luch?
I think there's a much smaller gap than that, especially with Joe Burrow's health history as well. Of course, Flacco was serviceable and Chase was fine with Flacco. But just, kind of let me throw this out here too. Maybe you could piggyback off this in a different direction. But it comes down to risk tolerance too. If you're playing one league and it means a lot to you, you could still it could work in one of 2 ways. Are you finishing first or last, or do you want to play safe? Are you playing in a portfolio of contests this season? Then go ahead, take Puka wherever you want. In best ball formats, it's even more reasonable to take him if the market's going to be bear on him and other guys, which I will tell you from drafting a number of best ball teams. I'm not surprised in this day and age. Everybody is way too sensitive to ambiguous news, and I've been gobbling up shares of guys way late. Alec Pierce, I got him at 125 the other day. Look, activated off the pup list. I don't, doesn't bother me. I'm also playing multiple entries. So it's a personal preference thing. Puka is a tough watch in a sense where I feel like he's in the blue tent every game. He has a little bit of Cam Scattaboo in him too, for more reasons than one, I think. So you're always kind of dancing with fire, and I feel like he's never playing at 100% either. So yeah, and just to backtrack on how sensitive everyone is and really how timid even best ball players are in lower dollar formats. When that Ashton Genty news broke, he was falling round 5, round 6, round 7. I have no life. I was fortunate to do one draft during that stretch on Sunday evening when I had nothing to do, and I got him in the 3rd round on one team, and I felt okay about it. It turns out the prayer circle was just for an ankle sprain. Whether that means 2-3 weeks missed, who knows? Maybe longer, maybe nothing in week 1, maybe nothing.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, Underdog even came out and posted that there was one draft where Jamar Chase fell to number freaking 10 overall on their website because he, had the one fall in the video, and who knows what that is, but no news is good news. I mean,
how many leagues are you in?
Oh, in best ball, I've done 70 or 80 drafts, but we're, it's a commitment.
Holy shit.
But are these all like DraftKings, Underdog? Like these are all drafts that you have
DraftKings and Underdog, and they're slow drafts, so they're 8-hour timers, so it's not like I'm sitting here and $5 entries, $3 entries. It's really cool. I mean, you can make
start doing them months ago, right?
Yeah, in May. You can make unique player combos in May that you literally can't make now. Debo Samuel, Stribling, we're talking about the 160s, 170s in some drafts. I mean, good luck now. Stribling's getting steamed up as high as maybe round 6, round 7 with some knuckleheads in a couple drafts.
See, the chat.
Stribling is consensus 127.6 right now.
I really want this guy to be good, but I also have a bad feeling that he's gotten so popular now that it's going to turn into he's just not going to do anything in the regular season. I mean, it's doubtful because they don't have a lot of wide receiver depth, so they're going to need him to do some stuff. But how many?
10, 11? Yeah.
Depends on how many teams, but somewhere around there.
Yeah. You can't take the heat. Get out the kitchen, Jeff. I mean, I come from a DFS background where I'm multi-entering stuff on any given night. NBA DFS was my first love. Did pretty well a couple of years ago. DFS is kind of dying now. The rate keeps getting higher. Just it's tougher to play NBA with all of the late news.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's, to each their own. Some people like playing one lineup, a single entry, whether it's DFS or season long. I'd rather spread my risk and have a portfolio.
V got a steal in the second to last pick in our draft by getting you so late. By the fact that you guys, I mean, I've known that Luch has been deep in the streets for a long time. But now you guys are finding out.
It is wild that the final two, selections, if you even want to call them that, were Luch and PJ. Just a couple of ball knowers. It goes to show the disrespect that exists within this BNN league.
People take with who they know, and people they lean into.
Doesn't need to be a popularity contest. Come on.
Hey, I just hope everybody has fun.
Sure, Luch. Sure, Luch is coming for that title, man.
Entry fee disagrees.
Yeah. Yeah, facts. On the news front, let's talk about this since we kind of talked a little bit about some of the random lore happening in the NFL. It's not looking so good for the Packers right now. Josh Jacobs' situation getting a little hairier. I'll let you guys go and read about everything going down with this misdemeanor charge situation in Wisconsin. But it's looking like that if this does end up get adjudicated the way that he has been charged, he is actually going to go to jail for 18 months. Again, there's a lot more to this. Go read about it online. We're not going to cover it extensively right here, but how this does affect, and as you said, Luch, when are they going to make the decision on this? When is Goodell going to make a decision on this? Is his hand going to get forced in this situation? This is a really interesting situation for the Packers, not something we haven't seen in the NFL before, as many players have gone through these cycles of dealing with, charges, not going to get charged, have to go to court, but then the court date gets pushed for 18 months, so then they don't have to make a decision in the NFL until that court date. That could be one of the situations here. Luch, I'll let you lead us off here. Do you have thoughts on this?
Unfortunately, law is not my background. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of Twitter lawyers giving you their takes in the next several hours. So believe what you want. All I know is one thing: there will be some overreactions, and maybe they're warranted. But again, I mean, we may not see a suspension. I find it hard to believe. We probably will, but will they really suspend him in the middle of the season? I don't know. I know it's not exactly comparing apples to apples in this era of the NFL commissionership because it's pretty unpredictable. And, look how long they pushed some of the Rashee Rice garbage off. In theory, it should be in the beginning of the season. I mean, now there's documented charges, right? I don't know. I can't offer much from a legal standpoint because it's just not who I am. I will just say, if Josh Jacobs is going to plummet to round 9, round 10, I'll happily try to construct a team that I'm drafting where I can absorb that risk.
So Josh Jacobs ADP right now, and obviously it could move overnight, as people react to this news and sites kind of get caught up with updated information, but we're still looking at 36.5 consensus. So still a third, fourth round guy, depending on where you want to take him. At that point, it becomes, and this is very best ball relevant, but certainly season long as well. What do you do as far as the Packers' depth, right? You got two guys. You got Marshawn Lloyd, you got Chris Brooks. Neither guy has really played at all in their very brief NFL careers, in part because opportunity and also durability for Jacobs. He's only missed a couple of games over the last 2 years, and that was last year. He has generally been a serviceable, reliable performer. Now, Brooks, if you just want to go by the depth chart, is third behind the other two guys. So that means Lloyd. So you look at Lloyd, and his ADP has been climbing. Lloyd is consensus 158.7 with a real range. Like ESPN has him at 170, Yahoo has him at 130. If you're talking about 130, you're getting Lloyd, obviously not at the same value that you'd get him on ESPN, but you're getting him in the is that
11th
round?
12th?
Yeah, 11th round, if we assume 12 team leagues and all of that. I don't know that I don't want to, and most people probably feel this way, and you're trying to anticipate without clarity. That's just how all of this works. But
sure,
I don't want to use a mid-rounds pick on a dude that may almost never play if there is no suspension, or even if it's like a 2-game suspension. Now, obviously, it looks like a great pick if you've got yourself conceivably either the lead back or a bell cow back in the 10, 11, 12th round if Jacobs is suspended for 6 games, 8 games. But there's just no way to know, as you guys already outlined, how this is going to unfold. So obviously at a certain point you got to react, and he's willing to, bite on because he's just fallen to you. If Lloyd is still there in the 14th round, like, yeah, of course, hop on it. But in the 11th round, 12th round, I'm not so sure I'm ready to do that without getting at least a little bit more info on Jacobs.
We'll dive a bit deeper into this, as Ma just mentioned, tomorrow on the All Sauce team, because V, I'm sure, has extensive thoughts on this situation. I know Beast is now down below, pressing the 1s and 2s. I think he might have a few things to say as well about that. But it is going to be hairy. And, maybe it's something like you said, we may not know anything. And hell, he could maybe play this entire season before this even comes to a point where they have to make a decision. Because as you said, Luch, sometimes they like to just not have to make a decision until they absolutely have to. Because that's the NFL rules, and that's just how it works. So regardless of how you feel personally, regardless of the law system, like their rules are, unless there is a charge out, unless there is someone in jail, they are not going to probably suspend someone unless they smoke pot, and then they're screwed. But that's a completely different situation. Yeah, I know, right? Josh Gordon is just rolling around somewhere.
Talk about a guy who mismanaged in his career. I mean, Cleveland is such a train wreck.
Hey man, have you guys? Luch and I will understand this, but the Vince Young documentary came out recently, and seeing all the behind the scenes stuff that we already kind of knew about when he got drafted to play for the Titans, and Jeff Fisher really didn't like the pick, but Bud Adams wanted to get him, so they got him, and then it all just fell apart. But mostly was because Vince Young was just basically like a petulant child about the whole situation. It happens a lot. I mean, these guys, we talk about it a bunch. Like these kids come out of college. Some of them have always been the best play, especially like the guys that are highly touted, Heisman winners, guys who are 5-star recruits that go and play. Even if they have success at college, then they get in the NFL and they get smacked around a little bit. And then it's about, okay, now what do you do? Now what happens? Because everybody gets their welcome to the NFL moment. And then how do you respond to that? We're going to get to see some of that play out this season with a lot of rookies that got drafted pretty early on. And as the game continues to evolve and change with the way the NIL works, we're going to see how, and now you can't go back to college as soon as you get drafted. So a lot of these guys are going to have to start making more and more decisions in association to, am I ready to go? You know what I mean?
Did I get trolled, or I didn't watch the documentary yet, or did Vince Young really spell Jeff Fisher's name wrong or something like that? Or was that?
I think that was actually real. I didn't.
Okay, let me follow up. Okay, if that's real, SPJ, why would Jeff Fisher hold that against someone who scored a literal 6 on the Wonderlic? No shit, he can't spell. So why are we getting all buttered about it?
Oh man. Quick 30-second side note. Because that came out, I went and watched, because I have a very visceral memory from me when I was a teenager watching that Rose Bowl game between Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush versus Vince Young when he went crazy and won that game for Texas on that last run. And so I remembered that I was watching it as a kid, and I had watched the highlights of this in a decade maybe. So I just went and watched it the other night when I was just doing some other shit. And you know what's interesting? I watched it and I was listening to the announcers. Boys, I don't. Was it Brett Musburger? I think it might have been Musburger. Mm-hmm. It was so bad. It was so vanilla, man. It was and I don't know if you guys ever had this happen. I know where you go and watch something that was legendary that you watched growing up, and you go watch it again, and then the memory, the plays were incredible, so that still stood the test of time. But I was listening to the commentary, going, "Wow, this kind of sucks." This has no excitement. It was like Al Michaels on Thursday Night Football. It was tapioca, man. It was nothing.
Ugh. Bob Costas in the MLB playoffs.
Same thing.
Bad.
Same thing.
Bad.
Yeah. All right. Any other pieces of news you guys want to mention before we start talking some bets that we have on this beautiful slate this evening in the WNBA and the MLB?
Fam, I'm not out here scrutinizing you, buddy. Listen, occasionally you just got to accept some facts.
Your
I
team sucks.
know you're a huge Deshaun Watson supporter, and I wish you well. And I do think he was the right decision. I look forward to watching Shedeur Sanders play tonight against the Patriots, assuming that happens. I have no idea. He'll get his opportunity. It's just a matter of time. You need to calm down. Get a massage.
I just my last Josh Jacobs thought is like Marshawn Lloyd is exciting. You guys nailed it. Hasn't really been healthy enough to stay on the field. Has had a really good camp. I think he'll be a guy who has really high ceiling, really high spike weeks, and really low floors. I also think there's a 0% chance that they don't go and get someone else on the cheap to go ahead and steal like 30% of the carries, maybe a James Conner, maybe a Tajay Spears on a contract here. I just like this isn't going to be Marshawn Lloyd 85% snap share. It can't be, especially if they like him long term and want to keep him on his feet.
Well, and especially with how much LaFleur prioritizes throwing or running the football. Like I know Jordan Love and that offense does get a lot of love, pun intended, for what they do in the passing game. But their bread and butter is running the football. And if they aren't able to do that successfully, then, that's going to be problems up in Green Bay. Before we move, I want to ask you guys this. I sent you this tweet, and we can gab about this for a second and maybe give me some validity here. Hey, Adam, I got zingers every once in a while, chat.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while. You got to listen.
Yeah.
I sent you guys this tweet from Benjamin Albright, and we can discuss it briefly about quarterbacks as we are going into the third week of the preseason. We're about to get to the point where roster cuts are going to happen this Sunday, 53 mans, and then obviously the trades that do go down before the start of the regular season. 4 quarterbacks he mentioned in this tweet that could be on the move in the next couple of weeks. 3 of them are not surprising to me. The 4th, though, is pretty surprising.
Okay.
Anthony Richardson.
Sure.
JJ McCarthy.
Of course.
Dylan Gabriel.
Right on.
And Tua.
So interesting. So I've been thinking about Tua all day. Here's why.
I'm sorry to hear that.
What a day for you, huh?
I know it's really been a down day.
Was it stand-up Tua or was it weird finger Tua? Which Tua are we thinking about here?
There are lines that I won't cross, SPJ, and that's one of them.
Fair enough.
Not brain chemistry. I'm not screwing around with that. No, look, when it comes to Tua, so I feel like, tell me if you guys disagree, and you in the chat as well, obviously. To me, with Michael Penix, and I know he's back at practice, full practice, 11v11, all of that, but the fact that Kevin Stefanski has already said he's not going to participate in the third preseason game, when Tua has been out there, available, healthy, underwhelming, but still available, to me it has been a foregone conclusion that Tua is going to be your starting quarterback for week 1. That's how I felt about this thing all along. I don't see how, if you are out of the chute in what's a winnable start schedule-wise for the Atlanta Falcons, and you've been building up reps along with Robinson and London and Pitts and so on, you go with the guy that, again, he's not great. We know that. We know it. Like Tua was paid millions upon millions of dollars to go away in Miami. We understand who and what Tua is, but I have just been of the mind that, at least at the beginning, not that I think he's the long-term starter for this team in season, but at least at the beginning, he's kind of the cleanest entry point into the start of the regular season off of, what you really didn't have a QB battle because Penix wasn't available. Mark Zinno, who works over at Sports Grid, does some ESPN stuff. We work together at both places. I saw him tweet earlier today because he works in Atlanta. He does a lot of radio in Atlanta as well. He's much, much closer to this situation than someone like me who's just kind of monitoring, the news, reading the tea leaves and all of that stuff. He thinks that not only is Penix going to be the week 1 starter, he thinks that there's a good chance that Tua is not even on the roster come week 1, that he's going to be cut, not moved, cut. And it just simply because he has been that underwhelming. In fact, here, I'll just so you have full context, I'll read you his tweet because I really it's caused me to rethink this situation all day. And I want your thoughts. My best guess at the Falcons QB situation is this. Granted, I've been wrong on stuff like this before, but Michael Penix will be the starter week 1. Yes, even without playing in the preseason. The QB, quote, competition never materialized in the true sense of one, but one thing was clear. Tua didn't play well enough to win the job. I'll go even further. Tua playing Friday night for a spot on the roster. I think it's totally conceivable that he could be cut. Ask yourself, What's the real difference in 2026 between Tua, Cooper Rush, and Jack Strand? Hard for me to find one. I will stand on that the whole way. This QB preseason thing has been handled, has been absolutely awful. The messaging was awful. The execution was sloppy. But moving past all that, we are here in a spot where Penix likely is your starter in Pittsburgh. So
Atlanta. Oh, in Pittsburgh for week one.
For week one.
Right. Yeah.
Again, it's he admits this is just a guess. I mean, I don't think so. But I mean, how do you guys read this thing?
What do you think, Luch?
Oh God. How can you roll Tua out there for a week or two? I don't think so. I think it needs to be a month. I think Michael Penix needs to get hit a couple times. Yeah. It doesn't add up to me. Yeah, Tua's been terrible. If this was if Penix had 3 more weeks to win the job, he would. He doesn't have that time, it appears, to play in real game settings and get knocked around a little bit. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not shocked that Tua's been that bad. I think Kevin Stefanski did a disservice, a little old Mike Vrabel, by just hiring his friends. I think Tommy Rees is terrible OC. So I'm a little nervous about this whole thing. Fortunately, they have really good skill players, but as we know, in the game of football, that's only half the battle. You need some competency calling the plays as well.
Yeah, you got to have scheme to get those guys open. That's why I'm glad you had that pulled up, Boost Man, because I was surprised to see 2 at the top of that list. All those other 3 guys, yeah, they're going to be either on the move or probably looking for an additional job or a spot to compete on a roster somewhere else, probably. But the 2 one's interesting. And I mean, yeah, if you're an Atlanta fan, you are nervous going into this year because, I mean, yeah, Michael Penix was fine in stretches before he got hurt. But, like, are we really trusting Michael Penix to stay healthy, A, and also be good, B? No, to neither of those things until proven otherwise. And as you said, Tua has been just diabolically terrible. And it doesn't help that the timeline. I mean, this is the problem also, that you have so many beat reporters and so many things now with social media available for all of these training camp situations. Like, some of this stuff that happens in practice is supposed to go wrong because of, like, the design of practice. Like, they're working on stuff, they're making things hard, they're trying to fix things, and sometimes fixing stuff from the outward eye looks bad, but you can't really, paint it any other way for Tua. He was just terrible on the field. He was also doing some weird shit off the field, as in not like being a weird guy. He was just like, his body language looked weird. It just didn't look good, period. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being on the move. I feel great about the fact that we faded the hell out of the Atlanta Falcons when we did their schedule, because I think it's going to be kind of bad in ATL this year. Sorry, Bijan.
It's such a bad division, though. It's such a bad division.
Oh, all those games are going to be fascinatingly crazy because of just the fact that nobody's going to probably pull away at the end.
I just think there's enough talent around whichever quarterback it is that Atlanta could win that division. Absolutely could win that division.
No doubt. And Stefanski is a offensive mind that is, one of the top in the NFL. That's why he went there. And hell, maybe if Penix can at least just drive the ship, as you guys mentioned, I think you can put Bijan, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts in the top 8 category of running back, wide receiver, tight end combinations in the NFL right now. That's enough to win you football games.
We also haven't seen a combined full season in its entirety from Michael Penix yet. Mm-hmm. He's played 14 games. Another new system now. The skill players are there. So, like, I think he deserves a majority of the season. He should end the season as a starting quarterback, and we should see him, in October-ish or something, unless for some reason Atlanta's rolling. Then it becomes interesting, because it's kind of almost like fool's gold at this point. Like, Tua can just be getting by, and Atlanta can, like you noted, Boots, man, Atlanta has some winnable games at the beginning. So if Atlanta's 3-0, if Atlanta's 3-0, and Tua is throwing for like 160 yards a game and has like 2 touchdowns and 3 picks, but Bijan's going nuts, or they're winning ugly games, like, does the organization have the stones to switch quarterbacks?
The cat thinks so.
He's smart.
Is that
Cat's like the good angel right now, hanging out on your shoulder?
Is that Nacho or
it's Libre?
So
Libre. How do
Is
you
it
think I
nachos
do 80
that-
drafts? I have my cats on all the devices, and we just knock them out. So, yeah.
Let's go.
You need to, not that Tua has ever really been this guy, but
Yeah.
you need to be a game manager. You've got enough offense around you where if you don't make mistakes, if you don't screw it up, if you're Mac Jones for the Niners last year, if you're, and this is probably being a little critical because people have higher aspirations for this guy, but if you're what we saw from Tyler Shuck as a rookie, like if you're just good enough and you don't mess it up, let the other guys around you shine. The Falcons have pieces. Again, Bijan is among the favorites to win Offensive Player of the Year. Most people are higher on Pitts now after what we saw last year. Drake London is one of the best wide receivers in football. He's not like top tier, but he's, kind of next level. So there's enough there it took 8 wins to win that division last year. 8.
Oh, for sure. Well, and that's probably why the Heat is not so crazy in the kitchen yet there, and they're not concerned. We'll see what happens and how it breaks down, though. All right, boys, we got to turn the page because we got some betting to talk about, and we do have our special guest joining us tonight to talk about what's going to go down in the 2 WNBA games this evening. Chef T, welcome to the show.
What's up, goats?
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Jeffrey.
Good. How are you guys?
Good to see you. Also, just so you know, Beast next to you in the yard waiting. That's your partner for fantasy. This is your first time officially meeting. There you go.
Love it.
Yep. I know you got some dub thoughts for us this evening. 2 games. Obviously, the playoff picture is set. And I have a future I'm going to sell you on after we're done talking about these games. But I see you like John Quell Jones, I assume, PRA. You like that in this Liberty first game, taking on the Valkyries tonight. 2.5-point faves are the New York Liberty.
Yeah, I do. She historically has done really well against them, and she does even better at home. Her PRA is just to that in the last 10 games. I think she'll get involved, and she just will do what she does against the Valkyries like she normally does. So give me her PRA, bing, bang, boom, and then we'll move on to, all the other fun stuff like the FCS stuff and
FCS, yeah.
FCS.
Oh my
FCS,
God!
baby.
Do you guys have any plays for that? Because that starts in like 15 minutes. I have no idea what to do for that. But I want to sweat something.
We talked about it briefly at the beginning. I don't think any of us have any sweats necessarily. I'm
Okay.
sure somebody in the chat has something, but none of us has it. I'm sure.
More fixated on week 0, but we could come up with something for you if you want.
Yeah, please. I mean, I'm trying to sweat something tonight, and MLB has some really good pitchers on the mound. Actually, if you want to take a picture, he starts, I think, pretty soon. 6:00. So Wisniewski is 5+ Ks, is plus 100. I'm seeing, and it is against the stinky Yankees, who have been averaging about 6.5 strikeouts versus pitchers as of late, and he should be able to get 5, I believe. So give me that for plus money if you guys want a baseball play. And then
Always.
for a gagger, go ahead.
I said always. Keep going.
He supports it. Chef, you want to play?
Yes.
Austin P is minus 14.5 tonight. I would probably, if you can, depending on where you're placing the bet,
Yep.
take it inside the 2 touchdowns and make it 13.5 if you want to lay a little bit of juice, just because 14.5 is gross. But
yeah, no, it is gross.
But that's the one that I would sweat tonight.
Right down the street from me. Shout out the pride of Clarksville, Tennessee, Austin P University.
Going against Gardner Webb.
Love it. I'm in.
I
have to take the 14.5 because that's only what my book says. But so it'll be a little bit dangerous, but I'm okay with that.
They're winning by 3 touchdowns. Easy.
Love it.
Who's going yard tonight?
Sounds like a parlay piece.
Yeah. Jackson. Okay, here's 2 of them. I got 2.
Ooh,
and I am so due for an actual nice. I've been so heads down with this new website that I've been letting the hub just kind of run on its own, and I haven't dug into home runs as of late. Also, home runs as of late have been like 1.7 or 1.6 per game, which is disgusting. But I like Jackson Churio tonight for a gagger. And I like Spencer Jones. Is he in the lineup? Is Spencer Jones in the lineup? Let me see here. He is on the Yankees, and I don't. Oh yes, he is. Okay, cool. Left-handed batter. He's actually had 2 HRR in 8 of the last 10 games, and he's been barreling the crap out of the ball. Wisniewski, I think he will get 5 strikeouts, like I said, but it's he also gives up some good HR 9 for his away games. So give me that for Spencer Jones. He's just been barreling the crap out of the ball, and he's really good against his pitch mix. So I like Spencer Jones for
just
for
in the players named Jones tonight, huh? That's what it's all about.
That's
Right
interesting.
Little Jones.
I'm just gonna search Jones in the blue book and just start hitting buttons. Who comes up and just hit a parlay?
Take all the Jones.
All the Jones.
It's Spencer Jones for the NBA is probably doing something crazy tonight too.
Yeah. Trey Jones, Spencer Jones, Herb Jones.
There you go. Herb Jones. All right, Chef. Well, love you. Thanks for stopping by. I know you got to go play that piano back there. But Jonquel Jones, PRA. What's the pitcher's name that you like his strikeouts?
Wisniewski. He's on the Houston Astros. 5 plus is plus money. Yankees have been absolutely trash as of late, and he's got decent numbers against the guys, and he's got 4.446 for his last couple of games. So I think that's the reason why it's plus money. But I do like that spot. So yeah, give me 5 plus.
I love this slate that we've got. Mizorowski and Yamamoto and Sale. He's shouting out Wisniewski.
It's the dark horses. It's like
the other guys.
Yeah, it's like when you're betting on Jamar Chase yards, and it's the sharpest wide receiver line that in the entire NFL Sunday slate, and then you've got to look at guys like Bobby Boucher from Austin P or whatever.
Don't forget Austin P too, 14.5.
Yep.
Yep. All right, dude. Well, have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll see you this weekend, man. Have a good one.
Go Austin P.
Go Austin.
Appreciate you, brother. Go Austin P.
So what's Jonquel's PRA number?
That's a good question. I will look it up and see where it's at across the market. I have a play in that game too, which I'll talk about in just a second. But let me find out what Chef got for Jonquel. 26.5 is the PRA line for Jonquel Jones. Obviously, shop around, find the best available. There are some 25.5s out there for a bit of juice if you want to get involved there. Just to talk about the dub real fast, boys, and then I'll get y'all's baseball plays and we'll cook the parlay and get out of here. In the dub right now, the entire playoff picture is set. So all 8 teams are in the playoffs. And I'll just bring up this graphic from earlier just to show this to you guys. So these are the league standings, and this is the playoff picture right now. All these teams have made the playoffs, and this is set, signed, sealed, delivered. Now, as you can see, though, between second place and 8th place, there's 4 games that separate those teams. A lot of those teams within the mix as well to move up from the Fever could catch the Valkyries, the Wings could leapfrog the Liberty, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So even though the top 8 teams are set and there's no more movement in regards to who's actually making the playoffs, there's still a lot left to be determined. There's only a couple more games until the 31st when these ladies go on the international break for the FIBA World Cup, which will be happening. They come back on September the 15th to finish out the regular season, which will be interesting to see how that kind of changes things. So both of these games tonight do actually have implications. You kind of sometimes see like, they're all in the playoffs. It doesn't matter anymore, but there's a shit ton on the line with the seeding. And this game tonight is one of them. The Liberty at home hosting the Valkyries. Liberty need to claim every dub that they can. Jonquel is in a good spot on that side, but I'm going to the Valkyries. I'm going to the other side. I really like Veronica Burton. I took her rebounds and assists line. Shop around, find the best available. I took 9.5 for -130. There are some 10.5s out there for plus money. I like that too. She's hit this in 4 straight games against the Liberty, both the matchups this season. Good facilitator, obviously running the Valkyries offense. And I think that the RA line is a little bit too low in this matchup here. So the 10.5 for some plus chicky, or you can go with the 9.5 for some juice like I did. Do whichever investment you would like to end up taking, feel free to do so. I do like the Jonquel Jones shout as well from Chef. Kind of like the Liberty to win, but the Valks have been too good for me to get on the other side of right now. So I'm just going to leave a spread in that one alone. Second game, the Mercury, nothing to play for left, obviously, to make the playoffs, but they still got players like, Alyssa Thomas and stuff playing for Pride for the rest of the season. DeWanna Bonner made a trade from the Mercury to go and play for the Atlanta Dream. So she's actually jumping ship to the Dream to try to win a championship because she knew that the Mercury weren't going to be able to get her there, as they are out of the playoff picture now. Taking on the Mystics tonight, 4.5-point faves are the Mystics. I was going to not take anything in this game, but then I found a plus money line that I really like a lot. So I'm taking a stab at Sonia Citrone. I took her assist line at 5.5 plus 105 price, best available on the market right now. This is hit in 5 of her last 6 games. She just had 9 assists as these teams just played. She's also hit in both matchups against the Mercury this season. So I went for the plus money. If you want to take the PRA, you can. She has had good scoring games too. Good rebounder at the guard position as well, but I'm going to get involved with the facilitating. I think that they continue to push the tempo, taking on the Mercury tonight in the desert. So give me the plus money for the 6+ assists for Sonia for the Washington Mystics tonight. Bang. You got any thoughts on the dub tonight, Boost Man?
I was looking around. I know that a friend of mine that I was talking to earlier really likes fading Natasha Mack tonight on the Mercury. Obviously, same matchup against Washington. She went crazy a couple nights ago, had 19 points, 8 rebounds, 25 minutes. But those are both, far cry from her typical production and usage. This is somebody that averages, 8.5 and 6.5. So just of the belief that there'll be an adjustment there and that unders may be a good look. Trying to decide if I like under 9.5 on the points, under on the rebounds, or maybe just a combined under 16.5 best. I'm a little all over the map with that at the moment. I welcome your thoughts if you have any Natasha Mack thoughts.
I like the concept of fading somebody after kind of like not a career performance, but a like way over expectation performance, right. Especially in a back-to-back situation. So I see the logic. I don't like taking unders in that situation. I'm not a big under guy anyway, but I understand that. I get the logic then. She's not really that type of player for this team. The only other thing is that DeWanna Bonner isn't there anymore. So, right. She is going to get more run. So that would be my concern possibly. Sure. But I see the logic. It's just not my style of betting. I don't like doing that type of stuff.
Totally.
I do have one more future though to sell you guys before we get to the baseball.
Go on.
So obviously with the league, the full list of teams being set, the top 8, you can invest on teams to win the championship. The Minnesota Lynx are the overall favorites right now at minus 120-ish across the market. You're getting minus money. Chat, if you don't believe me in anything else, do not bet the Minnesota Lynx for minus money price to win the championship. That is a terrible wager. If you have them at plus money from earlier in the season, congratulations, you have incredible CLV. But I think it's a bad way to invest to take a team at minus money to win a championship. They have to win 3 rounds of basketball, best of 5, and the league and the field is really stacked this year. So I don't like that. But second on the board is the Las Vegas Aces at 7-1. Now I'm going to take a big old stab at that. Give me the Aces to win the championship at 7-1. Chat. This price to me feels like Vegas forgot something. And I don't understand why they'd forget something about the team that's in their own damn city. The Las Vegas Aces have won the championship in 3 of the last 4 WNBA seasons. They won the championship last year. People wrote them off last year. And what did they do? They went on a 16-game winning streak, and then they went and they swept the Mercury in the finals 4-0. Giving them to me at 7-1 right now feels like an absolute gift. I can't wait to get to the point where they lose in the first round probably. But the fact that you're getting the team that has this pedigree, they've kept all of those same players on this roster, Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, everybody is still on this team that has experienced that championship taste from last season and from years prior. I like the younger squads. I think you can take some stabs maybe with the Mystics or the Wings if you really believe in those teams. But when it comes down to it, Becky Hammond and company are going to come in and they're going to play ball when it matters. And I want that at 7-1 in my back pocket. They're also the second team to make the finals at plus 150. So those numbers to me are relatively correlated. I like that price too, but I'm a little greedy here. And if I want to get there, and if they make it to the finals, then I can just hedge it out however I want to, or I can just ride out the 7-1 and hopefully it's a winner. But I think you're getting really good value right now, and I think that this number will continue to drop down, especially if the Aces start maybe going on a bit of a run as we lead into the playoffs here. So I think you're getting a good price right now before the playoffs even start. Here we go. Beast loves it.
So, hey, listen, I'm all for sprinkling futures, and again, you are celebrated for your Asia Wilson future last year and continuing to ride the coattails on that. So let's continue to get some more ones. So recap me quickly here on the WNBA for the favorite plays tonight. So we had over on the PRA out of Jonquel Jones for Chef, and then for you,
I like Veronica Burton over. Yep. I took 9.5 rebounds and assists. It dropped down to a playable price right before we got started at minus 130. The 10.5 is plus money. I like both. So if it just however you would like to invest in that, if you want the plus price or if you can find the minus 130 for a playable number, go for that. And then in the second game, I like Sonia Sutron over 5.5 assists. I did take the plus money stab here, plus 105 across most of the market for Sonia in the back-to-back matchup. So
I saw someone on over for her points tonight, but not assists.
I like that too. I like that. 16.5 was the line. She's hit that in back-to-back matchups with the Mercury, 19 points, I think, in both games. The only thing about Sonia that scares me scoring is she has to be really, really, really efficient from the floor to get over her points line. The last two games of the versus the Mercury, I think she only took like 10 or 11 shots. She made like 8 or 9 of them, but like I don't like taking scorers like that at their points line. The PA is probably a nice play to do it if you want to combine some stuff, or the RA even. But to me, the assist just felt better. I think that she's going to facilitate, and Austin has the better matchup down low, and Kiki does too. So I think that she'll be doing a bit more diamond. So, yes, sir. Let's finish it off with some baseball, and then we'll cook the parlay, and we'll get out of here. Adam, I won't make you sit longer, and I don't want to sit longer. We'll do the fantasy rankings tomorrow on All Sauce Team with me and V, and Luch is stopping by to hang out with us. We'll be ranking some fantasy running backs tomorrow with you guys as we filled the hour. Just gab it. Gab.
It's just what we do. We gab.
I know. We're good at it. Professionals. Luch, I'll let you lead us off. What do you like on the baseball slate tonight?
I only have one. Well, actually, no, I have 2 plays. One I like more than the other. One is a prop, though. I like Garrett Cole under 5.5 Ks. He has a 78th percentile strikeout rate, but his whiff and his chase rate, according to Savant, rank no higher than the 33rd percentile. Some stingy hitters in that Houston lineup, so I feel like there's going to be some regression there. I also like the Giants money line tonight. I wrote about them over at the website. Maybe I like them a little less than the Cole K's prop, but I like Raup. I like him at home. He's been a little unlucky this year. He's the better pitcher. Arizona's throwing a kid out there with like minimal MLB experience. So those are my 2 plays. Not my favorite slate, really small slate, a lot of really good pitching matchups as well. So it's a tough one. I will just say, like I dropped in the chat, I'm going to ride Towson. Jeff is on Towson. Jeff from the chat. My guy Alpha that popped in here is on Towson. I want a little football, a little sprinkle. I want a little football to watch tonight. So go Tigers. Pride
that starts
Baltimore.
Starts here right now. 2.5 if you want to take Towson in that FCS game versus Maine. And then as Boostman said earlier, sorry?
Stifler loved that one. He was shouting out Towson. Yeah.
I know you also
name, right?
It is. Yeah. I just prefer to call him Stifler.
Yes,
but yes, Jeff is his name.
And whenever he's in the Twitch chat, it's only Stifler. But whatever. Yeah. Boostman did like Austin P minus 14.5. If you want some other FCS action, I think someone in the chat also mentioned an under. Yeah, this one. There it is. Yep. Georgetown and Lafayette. Is that Lafayette?
Lafayette.
Lafayette under 46.5. It depends on where you're from. You can say Lafayette or you can say Lafayette.
Lafayette.
If you're from Tennessee, you say Lafayette because there's a Lafayette, Tennessee, and they say Lafayette. Boostman, you like any baseball tonight?
So we have one system play, which is Atlanta. It's not a play that I would be investing in on my own because, again, it's Sale against Yamamoto, and that thing could go either way. And between the two offenses, I do prefer the Dodgers. And so, Atlanta's a system play. I am invested, but I wouldn't give it out for parlay sake. In terms of anything that I would, if there is anything that I would, there's juice to it, but I do like the Yankees money line with Cole on the hill. That game starts in an hour. Brewers are very juiced, but I love Milwaukee with Mizorowski on the mound tonight, but that's almost a minus 200. And those would be the two.
Parlay piece.
So, yeah, it's a parlay piece for sure. So those would be the two.
Okay. So for the sense of us finishing this out and cooking our parlay.
Yes, sir.
We can't do Towson because that starts like right now.
Right now.
Do we want to do Austin P? Or do we want to tell our buddy in the chat and take the under with Lafayette?
I mean, I feel like we almost have to do Austin P because one, it's in your neck of the woods, and two, we told Chef to play it. So who would we be to not play it? And Jeff, to answer your question, no. The system was great for a while, and over the last 2-3 weeks, it has been a train wreck. So we are trying to get money back right now. But we're still dedicated. We're still playing it. Haven't missed a play all season, but the system is not good at the moment.
Dedication. All right, Austin P 14.5. I like your Giants angle. Luch, you down to do the money line there?
Yeah.
Where's that game?
Late night hammer, I believe. Let's see.
The late night tuck us in piece.
Yep.
I don't see it. Am I just missing it?
9:45.
What the hell? All right, let me find that in a minute. Jonquil Jones, PRA, from Sheffery.
Yep. I played it straight.
Nice. It's 26. It's 26.
20, it was 28 plus.
Oh, I got 26.5. Okay.
Really?
The Days of the Year book.
Days of the Year book. That's good. I like that one. System's not dead, Stifler. It's on life support, but it's not dead.
We're gonna do Sonya.
You know who's murdered me this year? Luch just mentioned the Giants. I hadn't been paying close attention to this. I want to say I'm like 2-16 this year betting on the Giants money line.
Do you like them tonight?
They're not a system play, so I will not be betting them independent of including them in a parlay. But
all right, then we're in.
And we're fine.
Yeah, I'm not invested. I mean, I don't love them. Arizona has the better offense, and the Giants are not a good team, and Roop is not a good pitcher, but they are.
He's been unlucky. I think he's not terrible.
He's due.
Well,
there's no due in this space.
I hate the due. Yeah, I'm with you.
We're due to hit this bet. Nope.
Dues for the grass, boys. Dues for the grass. All right. Austin P minus 14.5. Jonquil Jones 20 over 26.5 PRA. Sonya Citron 5+ assists. Cut the hook. And then the Giants on the money line to take us home and tuck us in plus 1,000. There you go.
10-1.
That is your Bet Espresso 4 chat. There it is.
Look for it on the timeline, and I will.
Yeah, we will.
Boost, who's been? I mean, that's cool that you're tracking every team, and it could just be sheer small sample size and variance. But who's been like? What team has treated you the best? Do you know?
Off my spreadsheets over on a different machine, but off the top of my head, the Red Sox have been great. The Rays have been great. Cubs, I feel like overall have been great.
I've been not great on sides this year, but totals I've been pretty good. So
I don't think I've bet a total all season. So MLB totals are tough, man.
I told myself going into the season that I wasn't going to bet baseball this year, except in parlays, and that's what I've done. It's been great. I've enjoyed it.
One quick baseball note: Walker Jenkins getting called up for those who want something to watch, or those are in the prospect world. Number 15 overall prospect, according to MLB Pipeline, Minnesota Twins. Very toolsy player, as they say. So should be something to watch at least.
Yeah, I'll hit you with the data next time we're together. I can give you specifics on records for the best teams and the worst. The Giants have got to be the worst, but Yeah, some of the ones that are, and there's a lot of like middling teams as you would expect, obviously, but I mean, juice is such a. This is a longer conversation that we're not going to have right now. But juice is such a huge part of this equation when you're flat unit betting on all of these spots, because the system is over 500 in the sense that like it's whatever 10 or 15 games over 500, but has lost money because again, you're hitting some spots, plenty of spots along the way that are plus money spots, but you're also losing on a bunch of minus 150s or whatever. And so when you're hitting on enough of those minus spots, you really have to, as we know, it's just math. You need to hit on that many more of those minus 140, minus 160, whatever, to compensate for all of the losses that you're taking on, some of those others. So it's like it could be 15 games over 500, but you could be down 30 units. Like,
well, this is why
messed up.
Why
what it is.
Numbers matter. The numbers matter.
Yeah,
I remember us having this conversation when we were talking on Any Given Wager last year about football, and like, this is why your unit matters, your
ROI matters.
All that.
Yeah, if anyone ever like celebrates their success with their win-loss record, that is someone you should immediately start ignoring in this space.
Mm-hmm. As you give us your takes on the system plays, but
the system plays.
I know.
We're tracking units.
Oh, I know.
That's the whole point.
I also
win-loss. The system's doing great.
Yeah, you're cooking with gas, baby. Chat. The show right before we started the show today. I said we're not going to go long today, and Adam was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "We even cut a segment today, and we've gone a little bit long." But let's cap this. Let's close the door. We will have
top 5 head coaches in the NFL.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually, Adam. We will get there eventually. We appreciate you guys tuning in right here on the Betting News Network for your afternoon Bet Espresso. Enjoy the preseason this evening. Enjoy baseball, the WNBA, whatever you get into tonight. Get after it and enjoy. Go check out all the content we have at bettingnews.com. As always, go follow Justin Carlucci on the timeline at, is it J Carlucci 9? Do I always get this wrong? Or is it just at J Carlucci?
It's at the J Carlucci. It's my bad for having something that should be more simplified.
Yeah, clean it up. Just make it at Luch.
Yeah. Well, this is what we bullied Sook into doing this. I don't know if we'll get there with you, but at the J Carlucci, at Boostman, at Adam M. Kaufman with the extra M. Don't forget the M. My name is SPJ at Sweatpants Jesus. Follow all of us at Your Betting News across all the socials. We appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Appreciate Beast down below for pressing the 1s and 2s. Lad, you got anything else before we get out of here?
Nope. Let's get it.
Nope, we're good.
Hell yeah. You guys came for the winners. You stayed for the vibes. Be sure, don't forget, tomorrow morning, a half hour earlier with Shags as he starts his show tomorrow, as he is going to the doctor, soon awaiting his new child. But the morning spread will be a little early tomorrow. So if you're tapped into the morning spread every morning, get up bright and early. Set those alarms. We appreciate you guys. Have a fantastic Thursday evening. And we'll catch you right back here tomorrow. Take it easy, chat.